Okay, Baruch Hashem, here we are, starting the 11th parak of the Talmud Bavli Masechet Sanhedrin, parak Chelik, and this is a very interesting parak. A lot of people like to learn this parak, as the chapter deals primarily with Olam Haba, with the days of Mashiach, a lot of Agadata about the Nevi'im, a lot of interesting sources, a lot of interesting concepts. And so let's begin. Let's begin. Perek Chelek. So the Mishnah starts off. We're in Daf Tzadik, Amud Aleph, the new Perek. Kol Yisrael Yesh Lem Chelek Lo'olam Haba. All the Jewish people have a Chelek Lo'olam Haba. Now, not everybody's Chelek is the same, right? Depending on what you do and how you do it. Yes, some people's Chelek, some people's portion will be greater, some people's portions will be lesser. Right, you have to earn it, but you have a ticket. You have a ticket to get in. Question is, where are you going to get into? Now, what does Olam Haba mean? Okay, there are different Rishonim with different opinions. Does Olam Haba mean where the world, where you go when the Neshama goes after it dies? That's an Olam Haba. Is Olam Haba the days of Mashiach? Is Olam Haba an Olam HaNeshamot that exists after Tchiyat HaMeitim and after and after Yemot HaMashiach, then there's something called Olam Haba. Again, different Rishonim, different opinions. Well, to make it simple for us, Olam Haba is the world to come, some future point. Okay, not this world that we're in right now. Everyone has a chelik, every Jew. Shneimar, because it says, Ve'amech kulam tzadikim. All your people are righteous. Is this true right now? No. There are many people that are not righteous in this world. But Olam Haba, everyone who gets in is righteous. They forever shall inherit that land, the land that it's Olam Haba. Netzer matai, the branch of my plantings, maaseh lehit pa'er, my handiwork in which to take pride. Okay, all right, fine. And now the Mishnah begins its scary part. And these are the ones who do not have a chelik le'olam haba. Who is this? The first one on the list. You gotta be pretty bad to be the first one on the list. Which one is it? Ha'omer and Chiyat HaMetim in Torah. He says Chiyat HaMetim is not from the Torah, right? Which could mean even if he believes in Chiyat HaMetim, but he says it's not Chiyat HaMetim from the Torah. It's a concept, but the Torah doesn't talk about it. That guy already no Olam Haba. Okay? Omer ain't Chiyat HaMetim in Torah. If someone doesn't get Olam Haba. Or someone that says, Ve'en Torah min Hashamayim. Says no Torah from Shamayim. A bunch of Jews got together and they wrote a book. It became a bestseller for all generations. But not from Shamayim, Chas v'shalom. That person also ain't no Chelik Olam Haba. And then the Apikoros. The Apikoros is someone who is mevazet Talmidei Chachamim, who makes fun of Talmidei Chachamim. Now, the word Apikoros is used always to describe someone who doesn't believe in the principles of the Torah or its Chachamim. In the Sefer Ikarim, said that there was a Greek philosopher with the name of Epicurus. Okay, and he said there's no God. Those who follow like him and the Mevazet Talmidei Chachamim, and they don't show that they go against principles in Torah. We call them after this philosopher Epicurus. You call them Apikorsim. Okay, so also no chelik in Olam Haba. Rabbi Akiva Omer. Rabbi Akiva adds on. Af hakore b'sfarim hachitzonim. Even those who read from the Sifarim Hitzonim, outside books. Okay, the Gemara later is going to explain what is these outside books. And there's different opinions of what outside books are. Is it any outside book? Anything that's not Torah is considered an outside book, and you read that you don't have Chelik Olam Haba? Or does it mean books that were not canonized, right, as part of the Bible, part of the 24 books of Tanakh, There were other books, Ben Tzira, and such books that they wanted it. Some wanted to put it in, but it wasn't really part of it. So if you read those are not to be put in. Or maybe it's also Greek books. We'll see. We'll see what Sefer Chitzonim when we get up to there. Another one. Someone who takes his hand over a wound and he says a pasuk. And he makes healing via an incantation with his hand. This guy also no olam haba. Says the Rambam. Why? Because he's making the Torah about the body, where the Torah is really about the neshama. So he's kofir what the Torah is for, right? And therefore, in olam haba. Abba Shaul Omer, so to someone who pronounces the name of God according to its letters. Okay? All these are people in note 11 in the article 987. It says this is not an exhaustive list. Meaning it's not everything. Right? The Gemara Shoshana, Sotah, Ketubot, Avod Binatan, they have more. They have 24 categories. And not everything is brought over here. Okay? So don't say, oh, these are the only people who don't get Olam Haba. There are many more who also don't get Olam Haba, do certain things. So we're going to read here from the Rambam. Okay. אלו נחרטים ועובדים ונידונים על גודל רשעם וחטאתם לעולם ולמי עולמים. Okay, someone has very, very many sins. המינים, those that go against the Torah. והבקורסים, והכופרים בתורה, והכופרים בתחיית המתים, וביאת הגואל, they don't believe in Mashiach time. והמורדים, ומחטאי הרבאים, many people sin. והפורשים בדרכי ציבור, they go against the ציבור. ועושה עבירות ביד רמה, בפרהסיה, כיהוקים, they go making עבירות in public. והמוסרים, those who telltale, מתלאימה על הציבור שלא לשם שמיים. They put fear into the tzibur without the proper, not for Shem Shemayim, v'shofchei damim. And a rotzeach, someone who kills someone. Uvalei lashon hara, someone who speaks lashon hara. V'hamoshech or latom, right? Or he makes his brit milah bigger. Takes not his brit milah bigger. He makes his foreskin. He tries to make his foreskin back. Okay, all these are people who ein lahem chelik the olam haba that the Rambam brings down. Okay. The Rambam concedes that the actions of Rabbi Akiva, reading external literature and pronouncing Hashem's name as written with his letters, are prohibited to usher. He gets punished, but it's not something that that you don't get chelik olam haba. Okay, fine. Let's move on to the next part of the Mishnah. Mishnah says, "Shlosha melachim v'arba hidyatot elim chelik olam haba." There were 3 kings in history and 4 regular people who were examples of people who don't get olam haba. Shlosha melachim. Who were the 3 kings? Yeravam, Ahab, and Menashe. Yeravam, he made many people do avodah zarah. That's already, according to the Rambam, enough to make him no chelik olam haba. Ahab also brought avodah zarah. He brought the worship of the Baal. Also, Menashe also brought a lot of avodah zarah. Okay, all these are kings. No chelik olam haba. Plus, they killed a lot of people too. But if Yehuda Omer Menashe is no chelik olam haba. That says no, Menashe does have chelik olam haba. After the Assyrians captured Menashe and they're about to kill him, they put him in the pot, whatever it was, right? And then he davened, and the Shemayim, they closed all the gates, but Hashem made a special tunnel, and he made tshuva, and Hashem brought him back, it says. So he made tshuva, so he has chelik olam haba. Amar, they said to him, no. They said to Yehuda, no. Yeah, Hashem brought him back to his kingdom. But Hashem didn't give him back his olam haba. So we'll have to get into that when we get into the sugya later on. Arba hidyatot. We have 4 regular guys. Bilam. Okay. Bilam doesn't have Olam Haba. 1 second. I thought we were talking about Kol Yisrael Yeshem Chelik Olam Haba. Bilam is not even Jewish. Because the truth is, even a non-Jew, the Rambam says, could get a Chelik Olam Haba. Right? If he keeps Shevetz B'nai Noach. Right? Miskabel Shevetz B'nai Noach, and he keeps Shevetz B'nai Noach, and he's a good guy, gets into Olam Haba. That's one of the biggest differences between Judaism and any other religion. Every other religion is, if you're not in the religion, you have internal damnation. You're done for. It's not. That's why they work so hard, the missionaries, to save you, because they feel like if you don't do it, you're done. Right? We, on the other hand, say no. You can be a guy and get Olam Haba. You get guys should go Olam Haba. A Jew gets Jewish Olam Haba. Everyone gets their own Olam Haba. So we don't exclude. So even Bilam. Now, why would you think Bilam would get it? Because he had great powers of fortune telling, and you might think he was one of the righteous men of the nations. No. Bilam made people sin, right? He made Gilad Ayot. He made everybody do all these things. And he himself was a terrible person. He's the type of person, no, Olam Haba. Doeg, big Talmid Chacham, worked for Shaul HaMelech, but he killed out the whole city of Nob. He said Ashlan Harab, and he was a Rotzeach. On both of these, Ein Lo Chiluk Olam Haba. The Ahitophel, another Talmid Chacham, who worked for David. And he went against David and went instead with Avshalom, David's son, who was going against him, right? And so it's as if he went against David. David is Mashiach. David, Mashiach ben David, and he didn't believe in the Geulah. He's also Ein Lo Chiluk Haba veGehazi and Gehazi. He also made a lot of people sin, and he also was mevazeh Tamei Chachamim. He was apikaris. He made fun of the Tamei Chachamim. Therefore, he also went. He was a student of Elisha. Remember? So here were some guys who were had it. They were okay, and they went the wrong way, and they ended up with no Olam Haba. Okay, so that's the first Mishnah in Perek Chelik. V'kol kach lama. The Gemara says, why is the first one mentioned in the Mishnah about Tchiyat HaMetim? Guy who says, I don't believe in Tchiyat HaMetim is from the Torah. You say him? No, Olam Haba. Why? That case first. You know why? Tanu kafar b'tchiyat HaMetim. Yikach lo yeh lo chelek b'tchiyat HaMetim. Kol midah shekadosh baruch hu, midah keneged midah. You know why he started with this one? We're talking about Olam Haba. So we're going to talk about the guy who gets to Olam Haba because he doesn't believe in Olam Haba. Right? If you don't believe in Olam Haba, you can't get Olam Haba. So that's the first one. To tell you, if you don't believe in something, midah keneged midah, you don't get it. Okay? Because everything Hashem does, he does with midah keneged midah. Da'amar Yishmael ben Nachmani Amar Rabbi Yonatan. How do we know everything Hashem does is midah keneged midah? Where we have it, we have a story with Elisha. Shnema. This was after the Armenians, they put a siege around Shomron, the northern kingdom, and people were starving. Prices of food went up. People were complaining, and Elisha made a prophecy. Elisha said in Nebuah, or tomorrow the prices are going to go way down. They're going to be cheap, right? Elisha, Hashem's word, Machar, this time tomorrow, you're going to get a large amount of fine flour for 1 shekel, and you get 2 portions of barley for a shekel, in the gate of Shomron. And then there was a guy, and he said, what? There was a captain there. And he said, what? This is going to happen. Well, Hashem's going to make a window, and things are going to come. What are you talking about? He said, basically. But Elisha told him, you'll see, but you won't be able to eat. You think you don't believe it? So you're not going to get it. You'll see it, but you won't get it. What happened? It happened. All the Armenians, they fled. They left all their stuff, and the people saw that they left, and they went to get the food, but they didn't want to wait, and so they trampled him as they were coming out. As they were going through the gate, they trampled him, and he died. One say, how you know it's midah? How you know it's measure for measure? Perhaps all it was is that Elisha cursed him. Right? If a chacham curses somebody, even if it was for free, meaning the guy didn't deserve it, but some chacham cursed him, it happens. So therefore, it's no proof that it happened to me that can that. Therefore, if that was the case, it happened because Elisha cursed him. Should have said they trampled him and he died. My bashar. Why does it say next, right after am bashar at the gate? My bashar aliske sha'ar, because of the dealings of the sha'ar. Remember when Elisha said tomorrow it's going to be in the sha'ar, the prices are going to go down. He said, I don't believe you. Therefore, it said the word sha'ar again. This pasuk says he died at the gate to tell us that it's related to what he didn't believe. It's midah, neged midah. Okay. Amar Rabbi Yohanan. Menayin l'tchiyat hametim min Torah. How do we actually know that tchiyat hametim, the revival, the resurrection of the dead? How do you know it's from the Torah? It says, "Untatem mimenu et trumat Hashem va'Aharon haKohen." It says we're going to give truma to Aharon haKohen. What? V'chein Aharon la'olam kayam. Is Aharon alive forever? We're always going to give it to Aharon. Furthermore, truma only starts when they come to Eretz Yisrael. V'halo lo nichnas Eretz Yisrael, and Aharon never went into Eretz Yisrael. Shnot truma. That we should give him truma. Rather, since it says you're going to give truma to Aharon, comes to teach us that Aharon is going to get back up. And the Jews are going to give him truma. From here we see we see that Tchiyat Mitim is from the Torah. But perhaps you can translate this pasuk a little different. What does it mean? Give truma to Aharon. You give it ke Aharon, to someone who's like Aharon. What does that mean? Ma Aharon haver, abanav haverim. You give truma to Tamil Chacham like Aharon. You don't give to Kohanim who are Ameartzim, who don't know halacha. Amar Shmuel ben Achmani, Amar Rabbi Yonatan. Menayin she'en notrin truma lekohen Amaretz. How do you know you're not supposed to give truma to a Kohen who's an Amaretz? Because it says, "Veyomer la'am leYoshvei Yerushalayim letet menat kohanim v'leviim l'man yechesku b'torat Hashem." Right? Hiskiyahu HaMelech say, give it to the kohanim to be strong in Hashem's Torah. Kol ha'machazik b'torat Hashem yesh lo menat. Anyone who's strong in the Torah, they get the presence of the kahuna, the truma. Ve'she'enim machazik b'torat Hashem ein lo menat. If he's not knowing halacha and he's not strengthening himself in the worship of Hashem, then you don't give him teruma. Why? Why I can't give him teruma? Anyone who gives coin to gives truma to a coin who's an amaretz, it's like he's giving food in front of a lion. What does it mean? When a lion has food, sometimes he eats it right away, jumps and eats it right away, and sometimes he takes it back to his lair and then he eats it later. Same thing with a kohen amaaretz. Av kohen amaaretz. Safek ochla b'tahara. Safek ochla b'tumah. Teruma has to be eaten in tahara, in purity. And if this amaaretz, sometimes he eats it when he's pure, and sometimes he eats it when he's not pure, and that is a problem. You have to eat it when you're poor. It'll be Yohanan amar. If you give it to a kohen ma'aretz, you're causing him to die. He will die because he profaned the truma. If a kohen is mehalel, he profanes the truma. He hayav mita. You're going to cause him to die by giving truma to a kohen ma'aretz. The very when he has ben Yaakov Tana, af misyo avon ashama. You also going to keep him with a sin. And they'll burden them with sin and guilt when they eat the holies. Okay? So we don't want to give it to the Kohen Am Haaretz. Okay, so maybe the pasuk where it said Aharon meant Ke Aharon. So we have to have another proof. Tanya, the B, Simai Omer, Minayin Chetamitim in the Torah. How do we know that Tchiyat Mitim is from the Torah? We have an interesting pasuk. We know that Hashem is going to give the Eretz Yisrael to the Jews. But there's a pasuk there that says, "V'gam kimoti et beriti itam I have also established my covenant with them. Letet lahem eretz Canaan, to give to them the land of Canaan. Okay, Hashem is speaking to Moshe, telling him that he made a brit with Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov to give them the land of Canaan. Lachem lo ne'emar, doesn't say to you. I didn't promise Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov I'm going to give it to their children. El lahem, I'll give it to them. When are you going to give it to them? They're dead right now. You can't give it to them now. They're dead. They're not here to take it. Mikan l'tchiyat hametim min haTorah. Tchiyat hametim is from the Torah. That what? Abraham and Yaakov are going to get back up, and Hashem is going to bring them to Eretz Yisrael so they can get a part of that land as well. Tzarek kam geshem gam siman. Shalu minin et Rebbe Gamliel. Certain minim. Usually the Gemara uses the word min. It means the believers in Yeshu, in Yashka, Jesus. These are the early Christians, okay? So they asked Rebbe Gamliel, Menayin Kadosh Baruch Hu Mechayeh Metim. How do we know Hashem is going to bring back the dead? Amar Lahem in the Torah, in the Nevi'im, in the Ketuvim, we have three psukim. V'lo kivulu mimenu. They didn't accept it from him, neither of them. Min HaTorah, dichtiv, Vayomer Hashem Moshe, Hinecha shochev mamotecha, v'kama ha'amazeh v'zanah. So we take a look at the pasuk in note 22. Can't read the whole pasuk. Yom Hashem Moshe, Hinecha shochev mamotecha. You're going to die and lay with your fathers. V'kama amazeh, and you're going to get up. So does it mean Moshe is going to get up, or does it mean v'kama amazeh and the nation will get up? V'zanach re'elei necha ha'aret asher hu b'shama. They're going to serve with the zarah b'kirbo v'azivani v'hefei briti asher karati ito, and they're going to forget the Torah that I taught them. So the question is, where does the word v'kam go? Does it mean Moshe is going to go and die, and then v'kam is going to get back up, or does it mean the nation is going to get back up? Okay, so they said, it says v'kam is going to get back up. The Christian said to Gamliel, no, v'dilma v'kama amazeh v'zanach. Maybe it means that the Jewish people will stand up and go against God. Okay. Min Nevi'im, it says in Nevi'im, Yichu Metecha, Nevilati, Yukumuna Kitsu, Varanenu Shochane Afa, Kital Orota Lecha Ba'aretz Rafaim Tapil. Right? Yeshaya is making a nevuah about Chetamitim. Chetamitim. They're going to be rejection of that. So the Christians say, V'tilma Metim Shehye Yecheskel. No, it's not the Chetamitim is in the future. Rather, there was a Yecheskel did do a form of Chetamitim. And maybe that's what it's referring to, but it will not be Tchiat HaMetim in the future, right? Which is interesting. Like you believe it at one point, but not in the other. Okay. Men HaKetuvim, right? They're in the grave, and their lips of the sleeping ones in the grave are moving. So it must be that they're getting back up. No, perhaps they're just moving the lips and not actually being resurrected. Right? We have a teaching. If you say halakha in the name of someone who said it, then that person is that person's lips are moving in the grave. So it doesn't mean that he's going to come back alive from there. Until he taught them this pasuk. Hashem promised to give to them. How could you give to them until Yaakov? They're dead already. We see Tchiat HaMetim, it's from the Torah. He said from another pasuk also. It says, all you who are attaching yourself to Hashem are still alive today. What do you mean? Everybody's alive today. You're telling someone you're alive. I'm alive. What it means is, even when everyone's going to be dead, you who cleave to Hashem will come back alive. Okay? So too, just like you're right now alive, also Olam Haba, you will also be alive. Okay? Now, Shalu Romiyim et Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananiah. The Romans asked Rabbi Yeshua ben Hananiah, How do you know Hashem is going to resurrect the dead? And how do you know that Hashem knows the future? So you can learn from both from this poem pasuk. You're going to lay with your fathers and die. They're going to get up and go against the people. So it means that you're going to lay down with your fathers. You're going to get back up. Or it means that they're going to go up and they were going to rebel. Okay, if you don't believe that Moshe is going to get back up from that pasuk, then at least believe that Hashem knows the future, because he says they're going to get up and rebel. So it means Hashem knows the future. Okay, so the same pasuk. Tanya, it was told in Raita. Through this, I proved that the Christians or the Samaritans' fake Torah is false. Right? For example, the Samaritans, they took the Torah and they changed it up a little bit. One of the things they changed in the Ten Commandments, they put a mitzvah of building a temple on Har Gerizim, where they have today. They still make their Korban Pesach Ki'ilu and stuff like that. They make it on Har Gerizim. So they falsify the Torah and says, I'm going to prove to you falsify the Torah. But you don't know how to falsify it because you messed up. You said there's no tchiyat metim from the Torah. But and therefore you change the pasuk that says lahem. You change it to lachem, right? That it means to you, but not to Yaakov, because they're not getting back up. But I'll prove you wrong. Harehi Omer, we had in this week's parsha that we just read on Shabbat, person who's serving with the Zara. It says, Hikaret hanefesh hahi abonaba. He gets karet, double lashon, and his sin is upon him. What does it mean? Hikaret, he gets karet here, b'olam hazeh. Abonava, his sin stays with him, le'emat, lav lo la'olam haba. That's why it says twice. Hikaret, and then it says, abonava, to tell you, olam hazeh, olam haba. So you try to change your pasuk in the Torah by lahem to lachem, but you forgot this part that also shows tchiyat metim. I'm a little papala abayem. Why can I learn it from the word just hikaret? Hikaret is olam hazeh. Hikaret olam haba. Why I need the word avon haba? Because some people can say hikaret is just the way people talk. They use double expression. Hikaret olam hazeh. Hikaret olam haba. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. Amar Bishmael. Whoa, one pasuk before it says he's son of a Zara and he's a nichrata. He's cut off. So why do I have nichrata? Tikaret. Why I have so many? There's 3 worlds. Olam hazeh, olam haba. Which one you have? Another olam. Ela. V'nichrata. When it says the first pasuk, v'nichrata, you be cut off. If you do olam Zara, that's olam hazeh. That's in this world. Tikaret olam haba. Tikaret. Nothing significant. Sometimes you use a double lashon because that's the way people speak. Okay? Then the Gemara says one question. Ben Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Akiva, avonava. Why does it say that the sin will remain? My avdebe. What does that mean? What are you learning from there? The Chidatanya. This is actually Rashi. And this pasuk brings us down. Yachav yuasa tshuva. You would think even if he does tshuva, the sin stays. Tamalom avonaba. What does that mean? When does the sin stick to someone? When he didn't do tshuva. If he did tshuva, then the sin cannot stick to him. It goes away. And we'll end off with this last piece. Sha'ala Cleopatra, the Malkata, the Egyptian queen Cleopatra, asked it to be Meir. She asked a question to be Meir. Now, which Cleopatra? Just know, Cleopatra was a name of many queens of Egypt. That was like a Paro. There was Cleopatra. Most people talk about Cleopatra. They talk about the one that was from Greek descendants, and she married one of the Egyptian pharaohs or kings, whatever there was at that time. But Cleopatra just means a queen of Egypt. That was the title. So Amar, she's saying Yedana the Haye Shachve. I know that the ones in the grave are going to get back up. This I know. And they should blossom forth from the city like the grass of the earth. Okay, this was Pasuk Dinim, so she knows I know. My question is, they get up. Do they get up with clothing or they get up without clothing? Right? How are they going to get back? So when you plant a wheat kernel, you plant it naked. And what happens? When the wheat comes out, it's covered with the chaff. It has a whole stalk. There's a whole nice thing going on. So same thing. Tzadikim who were buried with their livush, with their clothing, with their shrouds, or whatever it was. Plus their mitzvot are their clothing. Then so too for sure, each one will come up with his rabbinic garb and his Talmudical garb that is kavod for them. Okay, and with this, we will end today's shir in Mesachet Sanhedrin. Yasher Koach and Shavua Tov Kulam.
We just started.
Just started? What time is it? It's more than a half hour. It's I know it's it goes fast. I got it to Gemara, so there's not much what's it called thinking to do. You just have to read the stories.
Thank you.
We'll continue next week. Yasher Koach.